Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes. We are still in the summertime, so you're going to want to go ahead and text the word hot to 623AZ Recon. That's hot. It's hot. It's hot.
It is hot.
To 623AZ Recon. We're not necessarily talking about the temperature, but Ryan, I want to start with you.
Okay.
Well, we've both been at it. We got our real estate licenses pretty much the same time, 02, 03. So we've been doing this for, 22 plus years. Mm-hmm. I feel like, COVID was weird. But, when I look back, I always kind of predicted and told buyers and sellers, this is what you can expect for the summer months. It's a busy time. This is when families are relocating and moving to take care of school issues and things like that. Feel like this summer's a little different. I feel like it's a little bit, it's just not the norm. There's something unique to the summer. Your thoughts and how are you describing the summer?
Well, we talked about it, about a month ago or 3 weeks ago or something like that, where we were experiencing lower volume as far as number of sales happening in the market, but prices have been remaining stubborn and actually going up a little bit, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you're looking at it from a 30,000-foot view. But once you get in a little bit closer, I think a lot of the stubbornness is due to the fact that a lot of them have 2.5% interest rates, 3% interest rates. And so they're sitting back thinking like, okay, if I re-enter the market, I'm going to have a 6 or a 7 sitting in front of my interest rate. And so I'm not that motivated to sell, right? No. I mean, yeah, maybe there's a life change that happened, or they maybe job or something, whatever. But they're like, I'll suck it up and let the home sit on the market. I'm not gonna go over here and necessarily take a bath on value just because of whatever, because it's gonna sting. I mean, it's gonna dramatically increase their monthly debt service by that bigger interest rate. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why we're not seeing them flying off the shelf, but. You've already discussed like what we experience every single summer in a typical market, and that is right when school gets out, everyone goes on family vacation or whatever, and then we have like a little month right there in the middle of kind of mid to late June through mid to late July, where it'll pick up a little bit more, but then it kind of dies back down right as school is starting again, and then it's usually 2 or 3 weeks into August that we start seeing a lot more volume pick up. So I have no reason to believe that that's not going to happen again. And when I say pick back up, it's not like all of a sudden someone has just opened up some floodgates. That usually happens more towards the beginning of the year, right? Like February, March. Yeah. Like those are kind of those floodgate months. So if your home has been experiencing a little bit of slow showings or whatever, then that's probably it. The other reason, man, is nobody's just going to go around kicking tires in 118 degrees.
You got that right.
Like the people that are showing up are serious, and the people that are kicking tires and then trying turns to buying. That doesn't really happen during the summer. That happens in the winter months. Yeah.
Justin, how are you seeing the summer compared to other summers?
So it's definitely slower than most of the summers that we've seen, and I've been doing this since 2008. It definitely we saw an increase from what we saw in March, April, which, just like you said, typically you get like a floodgate of people coming in end of January, beginning of February on our side, getting them ready for you guys in the February, March months. But it more so than it has been in the past. We've had the phones have been pretty quiet compared to normal in the last, I'd say, 2 weeks, which is very abnormal for mid-July. But just like you said, there's just not those people kicking the can down the road right now. You got serious people that are calling in to purchase a home, and so it's a very focused market, I say right now. But there's the deals that are coming in are incredible. So we're keeping these people going. We're not seeing a lot of people back out right now.
Well, I think there's and it's important to note for people who've lived here for a long time, they understand the real estate market, but we obviously have a lot of listeners that are nationwide. And one of the things that you have to understand, the Phoenix real estate market is different from other markets. And so when you take a look at the calendar year, January through December, of the 6 busiest months of the year that are typical for the Phoenix real estate market, those always include May, June, July, and August. It's a little bit of a weird summer for me. Activity, though, and I agree with you guys. It's like the buyers that we have, the investors that we have, they are serious and they are taking advantage of opportunities and they're really getting some really good deals. But I think the slowdown, and it's important to emphasize your point, Ryan, the slowdown does not equate to property values dropping. They are still going up. And I think a lot of it has to do with an inventory issue. So I say this, there's opportunities on the table for, I think, both buyers and sellers. And we'd love to have that conversation with you. We'd love to help you navigate the summer months, how to take advantage to your financial benefit, the lull in the market. All you got to do is text the word HOT to 623-AZ-RECON. That's HOT to 623-AZ-RECON. All right, so I think there's opportunities for both buyers and sellers. There's a huge opportunity for buyers right now. I think there's a huge opportunity for sellers that comes with a very specific caveat. So let's talk about sellers, and I want to talk about inventory. Justin had texted me earlier today, and he's like, hey, what's going on with inventory? And it was really interesting. As of the day that we recorded this episode, in the Arizona Regional MLS, there were a total of 18,409 available units. But that encompasses, and that's the number, it drives me nuts. People focus on that. When they talk about inventory in Phoenix, it's 18,409 on the MLS. Well, that's not necessarily a clear picture, because when you filter the search and say, hey, I only want to look at available units in Maricopa County, because the Phoenix metropolitan area, is in Maricopa County. That 18,409 drops to 13,807. That's nearly a 5,000 unit, swing. Now, when I just look at single-family dwellings in Maricopa County, just single-family homes, not including condos, apartments, or whatever, we've dropped down to 10,128. So, Ryan, I want to talk about sellers first. I think it's a huge opportunity for sellers because of low inventory. But the caveat is there are not as many buyers in the market. The caveat is it's a prime opportunity if you're a seller, but your home better be ready to go and it better look good.
Well, I'm kind of on that point, really, where I see the biggest opportunity for homeowners right now is to take advantage of the available contractors right now.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good point.
Cost of material has been improving and is expected to continue to improve well through September. And so,
aren't you glad you kind of waited a little bit to build your home? You're saving money.
Why do you think I waited to build it?
Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't sound right. So, knocking on contractors' doors are a little bit slower right now. You can shop with them. You can haggle with them a little bit more. They have a little bit more free time. They want your business, and so I'm seeing some good opportunity with that. I would definitely, if you can, try to hold off until we get to more in the fall months and take advantage of this time that we have right now to get that honey-do list done, remodel that bathroom, get the pool refinished, whatever the TLC that your home needs in order to maximize value. I think that you're going to get your best deals on things like that right now. And then when we hit the market in October, November, early November, that's when we're going to start seeing a lot more volume and a lot more activity in the market once those snowbirds come back in. So speaking of snowbirds, if you are an investor, I think that it's really important for you to just jump outside of whatever box. If you've created a box geographically, jump outside of it, because we are seeing a lot of activity up in our White Mountains. we're seeing a lot of activity in some of our colder states that are, where summer's where you want to be. So if you're looking for a good place to park your investment dollar, I would look at different states like that. So those are my thoughts on seller opportunities.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a great point with trades and contractors. I mean, one of the advantages of our team is you name the issue and the need that you have, and we have the resources for you. We did a home inspection for a buyer of ours, and there were some issues that popped up. So he wanted to do a bunch of additional inspections and get bids. And so we did this yesterday. So we're within our inspection period. Dude, I was out there from 1 o'clock for a couple hours, and it was just amazing. And he was amazed at all of our trades, our HVAC people, our roofing people, our exterminator. And I'm an exterminator. We're talking about rodent people and things like that, and they were just coming and going, and it was very, very impressive, I think, and our network of vendors and contractors is almost endless. If you'd like to take advantage of that, like to have a conversation about what it's going to take to get your house to stand out in this market and take advantage of this market, all you got to do is text the word HOT to 623-AZ-RECON. That's HOT to 623-AZ-RECON. All right, Justin, I want to turn things over to you, the advantage of the buyers. Interesting, we haven't talked a lot about it lately, and I'm not sure. And when I say we, I'm not saying just the three of us, just the industry as a whole. Obviously, a lot of buyers still been on the fence because interest rates are still considerably high compared to obviously what they were a couple of years ago, and people were waiting and waiting and waiting. And there is, because of the inventory, the way that it is, and especially because of the lack of the number of buyers that are in the market, it's a prime opportunity for buyers. I'm looking for days on market. There's certain things I'm looking for when I'm representing buyers, but we are expecting rates to drop here in the next couple of years significantly, in my opinion. These rate buy downs, these concessions, these rate buy downs is still a pretty good opportunity for buyers, and really an excuse eliminator.
It really is, and we've had a lot of changes that we've been able to get through. Typically, on these rate buy downs with a government loan like a VA or an FHA, they were requiring the sellers to pay for the entire buy down. Well, we've been able to get exceptions on this and now split the cost. So our buyers are coming in, putting a little less down, but making sure that we're able to get these 3-2-1 or 2-1 buy downs to help eliminate some of that.
And the 3-2-1 buy down is significant. Kind of walk us through an example.
So let's just say the average market rate today would be a 6.99. Bless you.
That's my son. He's just, what are you doing, man?
So your initial rate would actually be, for the first year, would be a 3.99, roughly equivalent to a 3.99. Second year, 4.99. Third year would be a 5.99, and then the remainder of the life of the loan, you'd be at the note rate of 6.99. But the goal would be to refinance you before those terms are up, in order to use those funds to pay down your balance, because it sits in an escrow account to pay that actual difference between your note and the reduced payment. Now, talking about interest rates, though, the futures came out last week and said we had a 100% chance of a Fed rate cut in September, which is great news. So, I mean, fingers crossed, because that we've had like a 95% one in the past. Let's see what happens.
All right. So, okay, Ryan. So if I'm a buyer and now I hear this news, Justin's talking about September, we might have a rate cut. I think a typical buyer's like, okay, I'm going to wait for September. I'm going to get rocking and rolling. If it were my kid, I'd be like, let's get something before the rates drop. Let's take advantage of a rate buy down, because in my opinion, when rates drop, home prices are going to go up. Today's price point is not going to be September's price point.
Well, and I think that's another great opportunity for you, Justin, to talk about certain programs with you guys as far as being able to refinance for free down the road.
Yeah.
And so I don't necessarily want to steal your thunder on that, but when I have conversations about what's going on in the market right now, and how they're going to battle the interest rate, then that's probably my biggest talking point is hey, look, you're gonna have to eat some shit right now, but then later on,
giant plate.
Yeah, then the idea, this whole entire strategy is to refinance, and then, well, Ryan, this is a 3, maybe 5 year home. How does that look? Because if I'm going to drop another $5 to $7 grand refinancing, then what the hell is the point, right? And so that's when I throw 'em what you guys are doing. So we want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So if we call it buy now, refinance later. Basically, if you buy now, we'll allow you to refinance with no lender or appraisal fees prior to December 31st of 2025. So it gives you plenty of time to jump into that. But you're really not eating shit right now because
well,
the market right now is for the buyers, and you guys are playing this market perfect. We're getting concessions. We're getting lower than market value on these purchase prices in a lot of cases.
But on the interest rate side, we're eating shit.
On
the value side, we're eating our cake, right?
Yeah.
But we want to have our cake and eat it too, etc. But
this is how you do it.
Like that's how you have to
counter.
And everyone's been so damn spoiled. If you bought a home or refinanced your home in 2019 through 2022, you were just getting fed the lowest rates that we've ever seen in the history of
mortgages.
History of mortgages.
You were eating shit on prices.
You were eating
so.
prices. But if you're right, if you were early, then you're easily cash flowing investment stuff.
Yeah, easily.
Like your cost of living versus what your income was totally out of whack. Now it's just catching up.
Yeah,
that's all that's happening.
Well, and I always say this cheesy ass line too. Date the rate, marry the home. Yep. The rate's going to be short term. The home could be hopefully a lifelong home that you're going to keep and move on and rent that property out. But it'll be a short period of time before you can refinance it into a lower.
Well, I'm reminiscing. I'm wearing my 92.3 KTAR shirt today
from when throwback.
Old throwback for when the three of us used to be on the actual FM radio dial where we couldn't say the term "eat shit."
Yeah.
Okay, but
I still might have said that, but they didn't like me a whole lot over there.
All right. Well, if you want to take advantage of the market and really just truly have the opportunity to sit down with one of our real estate wealth managers and Justin and his team and understand how to navigate the market, take advantage of the opportunities that exist in this market. Don't listen to Aunt Ethel and Grandma and Grandpa who bought their home last in 1963. But we will walk you through this process. We'll help you understand the market like we understand the market, show you those opportunities. But it is take you texting the word HOT to 623-AZ-RECON. That's HOT to 623-AZ-RECON.